Go. Hey, good afternoon. We are here with Shawn.
What's up, guys?
I love your shirt.
Thank you. Just for you.
I know.
This is my brother's previous, and when he passed away about a year and a month ago, last April, I got to wear this, to his funeral and represent him. It's bigger than me. Like it looks like a parachute on me when I wear
So
it.
you
He's a little bit
bought
bigger.
it in honor of him, or you went and
This is
raided his closet?
actually out of his closet. We all wore shirts like this because he always liked the lively shirts. So yeah, we all rated his shirt, and I went with the wildest one. I was like, "This is the wildest one for me." Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I like how they're using the Day of the Dead and combining all of your typical Mexican stereotypes.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much, United
Just
States.
to represent you, I did that just for you. And
because
honor also
I'm
Cinco de
Mexican.
Mayo.
It's Cinco de Mayo does not exist. It's Cinco de Maxwell.
Sorry, yes, okay.
Cinco de Maxwell.
Gotcha. Yes.
All right, Shawn, tell me about Southside Church, because the reason I asked, and I'm not just trying to blow smoke, but I was just blown away on the kickball field. I've always known that you're just a super awesome, nice guy. But then to see you out on the field and engage for 2 hours with kids, know every single name, know things that were going on in their life, I just thought that was awesome. So how are you involved in the Southside, and why, and anything you want to say about that? I love it.
I appreciate it. Actually, it's a mutual friend of ours actually got me to go to Southside during COVID. I started going with him, and I was going through a rough patch in my life with something that was going on, very hard and to deal with. And so we started, he's like, "Hey, come to Southside with me, Ryan."
Okay.
And I was like, "Hey, let's go." So I went with them and enjoyed it. And then, their kids program is really amazing there at Southside, actually. I know that because of his kids and then some neighbors' kids that were going there. And just how enthusiastic they were about going to church and the atmosphere and the how they lead the kids there. The kids program was just amazing. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let's, I started bringing my daughters to it because I wanted to get them back in church involved. And then I'll never forget it. One day where I'm walking up to take my oldest and youngest, both of them, into church, and my oldest looks back at me and goes, "Dad, you really should start helping out in the back. You should do a kids program because I did it at previous church." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been thinking about it, this and that." She's like, "I really think you should. I really think you should." And then signed her up, walked her into her class, and went sat down. And of course, that day, the lesson for church was volunteering in the back. And it was like a smack in the face from God. It was like, he's like, "Hey, this is you. This is your calling." And so I was like, "All right, let's sign up." Signed up. Got a call from Jenny, who runs up street, and man, it was awesome. Our first day there, signed up, and she, they question you as a who you are, about what it is, and who's getting ready to lead these children further on. Well, the first time I did it, they gave me second grade, and which was amazing. I was ready, second grade. We sat down, kind of learned what their system is and how they were doing it, and then she's like, "Hey, actually, I want you to go to third grade the next time." I was like, "All right." So Armin, who's now a great friend of mine, who he started volunteering at the same time, he and I both started third grade, and we've been with these boys who are now fifth grade since third grade. Loved it. The kids were just amazing.
And you're moving on with them to middle school.
Correct. Yeah, we're moving up. You could either go back, start over at third grade, or move up with the kids. And Armin and I toss them back and forth because we love Upstreet. We love their program. We love, the people that are running it. But we love the kids just as much, and we love being there for the boys and trying to be a role model for them and to show them what love is and what God's message is and how to treat others and life and deal with difficult situations. And man, for me, going to Southside and being there was I learned more from the kids of being there. And it wasn't that I was teaching the kids, it was the kids were there for me. And in return, I saw love, I felt love, and I got to be just there for the boys. And I loved being there for the boys. I loved doing that because You know, I got 2 girls, love them to death. They're the best things in the world for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't, you know, I don't have any
Right.
male sons or
Well,
anything.
I love the way Southside does that. They typically don't put you with your child.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
the goal is that you fall in love with it and stay with those kids for several years. Because I know Max, the small group leader, I mean, it's shocking that they show up to a soccer game.
Yeah.
Or they just the things he knows about my child. Sometimes I get embarrassed.
Yeah.
He's like, why'd you get that birthday cake for him? Max doesn't like chocolate. I was like, I like chocolate, bro. That's my guy. Just kidding. But I love the way Southside does that. And I love that a lot of people stick with him. And you sticking with him moving to middle school is a little scary.
It totally is. You know, it was a different scene the other day. We started, you know, by walking across from Upstreet over to Transit is what they call it, the middle school, excuse me. And it was different program, different way, you know. And we loved it. Armin and I loved it because now we're a little scared in Transit because in Upstreet they kind of show you how to dance and then you do the dance moves with them. And now you go to Transit.
You have to get on TikTok to learn.
You're on your own. I know, man.
Hard together.
I felt like, you know, it was like Ricky Bobby. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Armin and I kept talking about that. So we were like, we don't know what to do, you know.
But the cool thing about it, and I think I only peeked in once, to be honest, because I'm scared of it back there.
Yeah.
Because they go crazy in there. They have live music, and those kids are jumping around.
My
oldest didn't want any part of it, and I hated that for him.
Yeah.
But my youngest loves it, and is right in the mix, jumping around, and so hopefully you get a little hands off on the actual musical part where you don't have to be in there holding their hands. I don't know.
No, I do, but our boys have been really good. You know, Armin and I kind of started in 3rd grade. You know, because boys don't really want to dance. They're like, oh, I got to look cool. I'm just standing here. You know. And Armin and I are just crazy together. We were down there dancing, and I love dancing because it's just freeing. But for the boys, you know, we started making it where, all right, whoever dances the best gets to be president in Foursquare. And then we'll go down from there and pick it. So the boys were like, oh, I got to start dancing. So they started dancing, and they started doing it. And they were like, all right, I'm president. And then, so they started fighting about it. And then they took it to another level where they would go up on stage and dance with the dancers on stage and stuff.
As the 5th graders?
Yeah, as the 5th graders.
Because I was what was my position? The storyteller.
Yeah.
And we could never get a 5th grader to come up on stage.
Oh, no, they'd go up there.
Unless they were throwing a pie in somebody's face. That was the only reason they would ever volunteer.
They did do that.
That's amazing.
I got that. I got slimed once, and they enjoyed that. Yeah, that was
awesome.
enjoyable.
Well, I know I appreciate it because me and Ryan joked for years, like, are you signing back up? And it's like, yeah, but let's get a position that doesn't involve the kids. And like, so that's why I was like, I can storytell because I don't, and you're actually in the room. You're a small group kids leader, which requires a commitment, and you have to be on every time you show up. You can't have an off day. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. You know, it's the kids. It's all about the kids.
Yeah.
And they make it enjoyable. And that's what it is. You know, even when you're having a bad day, those kids just make it an enjoyable time. And it really brightens my day up. I look forward to it all the time. Not only that, but the leaders were amazing. You know, you had the support from the group leaders there.
Yeah.
And, you know, just the worship time, just the singing and dancing would change your mood so much. And, you know, you're just trying to show the kids that, hey, just have fun, just be kids. And
it's cool to believe in God.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's I think the new mission.
I agree with you. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, all right, so you have 2 daughters, and our kids are the same age, and they've known each other for a long time, which is kind of cool. And y'all live next to one of our friends, so that was a surprise when Max got out of the car at a mutual friend's house. And one of his other friends is playing in the yard, so he's wanted to move over there forever. But which one is your favorite?
Which one of my favorite is
Daughter.
The kids?
Yeah, which one?
Oh, come on now. There's no favorite in kids. We know that.
Okay. Here, I'm going to stop the tape. Now you can tell me it's not rolling.
Yeah, right. You know what? They're so different.
Are they different?
It's so amazing how different they are. My oldest, she is just into sports, kind of like me, you know, with the sports thing and very competitive. She's taking on different sports than I'm used to. You know, with swimming and things like that, and softball, kind of like baseball, which I did. But she has her own way of life, and she's awesome. And that was the other thing too. I didn't even talk about both of the daughters. They both volunteer at Southside in Second Service, which is awesome to me. I love it that they do it. So Cameron's or my oldest Cameron. She's more into the sports, the athletics, and then socializing. And then Brooklyn, who is I was her soccer coach when she was 3, I believe it was. I think it was. Could not get her to play soccer for the life of me. She just sat there on the sides like, nope, I'm not going in.
It's Max, yeah.
And you know, but she has taken on to another realm, which is dancing. She loves dancing. I mean, like it is. She does it 6 days a week. I don't know how she
What kind
does
of
it.
dancing?
Ballet, contemporary, you
Hip
name
hop.
it. She doesn't do hip hop. She hasn't gotten into hip hop yet.
Don't they have like classes for that too?
They do, yeah, they do. She just made companies this year, which is amazing for her, especially
Maybe
her
y'all
age.
know what that means. I don't know.
11, yeah. I'm just learning. I'm learning everything about ballet. I didn't know certain ballet shoes. First they're like paper in the front, so you got to buy them like once almost every year. These ballet shoes, and then eventually you get so good you can wear plastic ones. You don't have to buy them.
Oh Lord! But then they get them tiny toes, right?
Dude, I do. I know they like
their toes
crink
compress
over
or something, and they get those tiny toes.
Yes.
That's weird.
But she's more. She's amazing. She's very loyal to her friends. The youngest Brooklyn, dancing is that's her life, and it's awesome to see her. She loves it, glows. She does great on stage.
Yeah.
Especially young as she is.
Yeah.
To be in company was just amazing.
Awesome. My kids are completely different. I would be very interested if anybody has kids, anybody out there that has kids that are the same. Like, I feel like everybody says that. And I know obviously they're going to be a little bit different, but my kids are dramatically different.
Yeah.
Like, everything that they like, the other one is like to the extreme of the other side of
it. It is. It's so amazing.
It is wild.
They do like going to Braves baseball games. We love.
So they do have that.
We do have that connection. Yeah, I was able to take them. A great friend of mine who lives up north in Atlanta has season tickets, and he gave me some, and just we had the whole Delta 360 experience, and it was just amazing. They had so much fun. I mean, you could unlimited ice cream and candy, and then say, yeah, throw it here, and the guys, little maitre d', he's throwing food to you. And
he had those good seats down there.
Oh yeah.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
Thanks to I think the gentleman's name was Orlando. Was it? Oh, what was it? He owns a moving company, and I was invited years ago and sat right behind the plate.
Yeah.
And I couldn't eat enough ice cream and I was like eating a hot dog. I'd grab a hot dog, take a bite, toss it behind me. Next.
It's so sad because that's what you do. You're eating food and you're like, why am I eating this? I'm not hungry, but you feel like you need to.
probably showed up 30 minutes early and ate the buffet in the back.
You did.
So,
It's so funny how it is because you're eating and you're like, oh God, I'm stuffed. But it's free. Like, should I do it again? Do I need more? And you're like,
you do.
You're stuffing.
If anybody has these particular seats and needs somebody to go with them, maybe we could do a podcast right there behind home plate.
That'd be awesome. We could do it.
Yeah. Wow. The Braves are doing better, or
they're getting better. Yeah, they're getting there. It's the start of the season. They're missing a couple of key players. They're starting to play.
But the way they started, evidently, you have very low chance of even making the playoffs. Weren't they like 0-9 or 0-12 or something?
Yeah, they were. It was real bad. Well, they started out in L.A. and San Diego, so that was two really tough teams that are that are clicking right now. But or were clicking then too. But
they just want another worst to first. Such a dramatic city we have.
Dude,
here.
That's how we did it. The one year we won the series, we weren't doing that great, and then
that's true.
Great trades in what was it, June and July, and it went off, and then we won the World Series.
Yeah.
Awesome, amazing. I love the championship time during the World Series and the ALCS and all that championship games when the Braves are here. It's just amazing. I've taken my oldest to that, and her and one of her friends, because my youngest daughter couldn't go at the time. We sat in center field.
Really?
And it was right when Michael Harris caught the ball, against the Phillies. The only game they won against that series, but caught the ball, and everybody's going crazy.
Yeah.
You had some Philly fans talking junk to us, and my daughter, she starts talking junk back to them, and it was just, we had so much fun. It was just a blast. It was championship games, and then to throw them out, Bryce Young out at first, and it was just a great
terrible.
play.
Was that the year he was terrible? I know when they won the World Series a few years ago, he finally earned his money, but I remember in the playoffs for a while he was terrible.
Yeah, he's a player. It's like anything. You only have to be right 25% of the time and be a good
baseball,
player.
Yeah, that's true.
As a hitter.
Well, you're a pilot, and we are going to talk about real estate because we always try to tie that in somehow.
Yes.
But I got a few questions to ask first. So, karaoke. Go to karaoke song. Do you sing karaoke?
I love karaoke.
Okay, what's your first song? Go to song.
I don't,
Okay,
is this
skip that
PG-13?
No, it's ain't no kids watching this. I hit on YouTube. I hit the not for kids button every time.
I tell you the truth, my go-to karaoke song. And now I grew up in North Carolina, originally from North Carolina. Most of my family's from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And man, anytime I do it, anytime I go to karaoke, I love Motown. I love shagging the dance, not shag. Well, I mean, I do shagging, yeah. But shagging the dance is really, really great. It's fun.
It is.
And it's a fun dance. My mom taught me.
Is there a song that goes along with
there
it?
Is.
Okay.
The name of the song is "Stroking" by Clarence Carter.
Ah, okay.
That is my
That's a shag
go-to.
Song?
Yeah. I mean, you
can.
shag to it. Yeah, it's like Motown and this and that. Yeah.
I'm thinking shagging like Grease and that type of thing. Is that
different? No, totally different.
Is that swing dance?
No, shagging is like the Four Tops and Temptations, the Band of Oz.
Okay.
All those. You go like and so most of my family, right around Myrtle Beach, kind of where shagging started.
Okay.
You got the Spanish Galleon and Fat Harold's, which is a real famous, and yeah, you'll get people out there shagging and dancing and all that, man. And we used to go to 2001. It's no longer around, 2001, but they had like the adult side where you do shagging where the adults were, and then they had like the younger crowd side on the other side where they had some club music and things like that, and then
Interesting. All right. Next question: time travel. If you could travel in time, would you go back or forward?
That's a tough one right there. Like going back, you kind of know the history, you know what's going on, but it would be amazing.
But do you?
Yeah. Wow. It's just true.
I mean, if you go back far enough,
If I went back though, I would go back. I love flying. Like, I love my job. And to me, it's not a job because I enjoy where I go. I get to travel. I get to see the world. It would be amazing to go back a little bit and fly with the airlines before, like in the 70s and the 80s and all that kind of traveling. Flying.
Like we can just get a sticker and put it on your chest and go fly the plane.
Pretty much, yeah. But the future would be amazing. Like, where is it going to go?
Yeah.
Like, where is flying going to go? With AI and everything that's going on now, you have drones. I feel there always will be two pilots in the airplane in the cockpit, but just because of, you got, imagine
heart attacks, alcoholism. One might get too drunk.
Well, you don't have that. I don't know about that. Most of the guys are really good about that, but pretty good. You just never know of the situation. You can't guarantee security on an airplane. Right. We've seen that with airlines, governments. Heck, Las Vegas, they got hijacked and taken advantage of for their computer systems.
The airport or a plane?
No, Vegas, Las Vegas. The
whole town.
Yeah, MGM and all that, where they had to pay millions of dollars for that. So, and you can't ever guarantee that with an airplane. So I always feel that you have to have somebody at the controls.
So they still train pilots like on how to actually fly the plane? Because I know a lot of it is automated now. And I'm speaking out of complete ignorance because I don't know. But
yes, you had to learn how to fly an airplane. So when you're flying, you start at a young age, right? So most people will start, you can start at 16. You can get your license at 16. But I started out in college learning how to fly. Right. And how I wanted to become an airline pilot. One was Top Gun, obviously. Yeah. There's a lot of people around my age. Top Gun was a big one. And then I went up with a friend of mine in a little Cessna 172, got sick. But I was like, this is awesome. This is so much fun because you get to see the world. You're above everything and you see so much. And just the expertise that it takes to fly the airplane, the attention to detail, and especially at first, when you first get an airplane, everything seems so fast and going so fast. But as you get more hours and you get more experience, everything starts to slow down. And it's like riding a bicycle almost.
Yeah. I know Max went to space camp one year, summer, and then to aviation camp. And he was 100% going to be a pilot. He wanted to be not just a pilot, but a fighter pilot. But then when he came home from the second aviation camp, it was over because they put him in that simulator with spinning around. Yeah. He's like, centrifuge. I don't think I can do it, Dad. I don't think I can do it. So he evidently he loved everything about it. Yeah. But he was like, and he rides every roller coaster there is, but that just made him so sick. He's like, that dream is gone.
I mean, he would, but fighter pilots, it's a different world. I wasn't a fighter pilot. I wanted to be one, and I had different aspirations after college. my thing was obviously I wanted to be a commercial airline pilot. I want to fly around the world, see the world, and be able to travel and the benefits that you have with that. But I also wanted to be a fighter pilot. But and in college I was an intern at a major airline. Worked in pilot recruitment, so I knew how to get hired, what to do, some of the questions, things like that. So there were different ways at the time. This was prior to 9/11. Yes, I'm that old. It's amazing. Some people you fly with now.
1911. I know some of you are thinking 1811. No, 19. When did that happen? 2001.
Yes, 9/11.
9/11.
September 11th.
September 11th. See, I wasn't old enough. I was.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, there you go. But we're flying with some kids now that weren't around during that time, that were born.
So to circle back to that,
Yes.
the reason I asked about automated, because I've spoken with people like at mechanic shops or talk to them, and kids now are trained to do the check where they stick the computer thing in there, and cars are so automated that a lot of the newer mechanics have no idea how to actually work on a car.
Yeah.
Like to diagnose it or to pull it apart, like because they're trained on they're being told, hey, check blah, blah, blah. So I guess being a pilot is a little more important than
it is. Yeah. And
we need our mechanics.
As you go through your career, like I said, as you go through your career, you learn the basics first. You learn how to fly. You learn what lift, drag, this, and weight all is, the 4 factors on the airplane. And then you go from there, and as you advance, now with newer technology comes in, but you still learn at a very basic age of how to deal with the airplane, how to fly it. Like, what if I lose an engine? Where am I going to land? So it's that thought process, and you always and that's something in your mind. Like, what if something happens? What if a medical emergency happens? Yeah. Or what if you lose an engine and you're halfway across this? Because a lot of my flights now are international, so I'm going across. We call it the pond, the Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean. Yeah. Sure, so and you got there's a lot of people that are relying on you in the back, and it's one of those things you that whole thought process. All right, what happens now? What happens now? So we prepare. You always want to plan for the worst and hope for the best, if that makes sense.
So is drag the reason why I can't get under 30 minutes in a 5K anymore?
That would be a lot of probably a lot of induced drag.
And too many self-chosen birthday cakes.
Yes.
So, all right, let me think of one more. I love this question. Who was it? As a dad of girls, let's go with this one. Most embarrassing song that you jam out to?
Oh, man. Dude,
probably a bunch of them with 2 girls.
They hate me dancing anytime. It doesn't matter what song it is. It's like, no, they don't like it at all. But I mean, dude, I love old school rap. Okay. I get down with it.
You can't be embarrassed about that. No. I mean, mine is like Baby, Baby, Baby by Justin Bieber. Freaking love that song.
Do you really?
I love it. Like, I mean, it makes me happy. I'm just like, babe, I skip around the house. Like,
if you're talking about me being embarrassed,
you embarrassed. I would say you don't want anybody to know.
It's crazy. Sometimes you get, and I'm really not great at naming songs, but I'll throw down to anything. Like, I'll throw down with Taylor Swift. I ain't afraid to dance to that. My youngest got me into Taylor Swift and New Kids on the Block. Even
Doechii. Hey, see, we're modern.
See, yeah. I mean, I'm not afraid. Anything with a good beat. I love music with good beats, and
I do. And a unique voice, and it just.
Oh yeah, I'm down from rap to country to pop to whatever. I just love it. Smooth jazz. I like some jazz. Even we were doing that in Paris this past weekend. Guys were listening to smooth jazz. Well, Frank Sinatra.
Well, if you're going to Paris,
yeah.
You know what? You talk about difference, and we're gonna move to real estate right after this, I promise. But Aiden loves. He's 19 now, but since probably 14, he's loved Frank Sinatra.
Really?
And like, if he had Pandora, is Pandora still a thing?
Pandora's still around. Okay. Yeah, I like Pandora.
Well, we've moved to Spotify, but like if he played a station, it would be that. And at first, I thought he was like a phase, so I ignored it. But he's stuck with it, and he loves it. Loves that.
He's one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, but to be that age and really groove on that style of music, I think it's pretty cool.
You got the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Well, you can't go wrong with the Rat Pack.
Who was the Rat Pack? James Dean, Elvis Presley, and Michael Jackson? No, it's James Dean, right? I know he's one.
It is, yeah.
Sammy Davis Jr.?
Yes, that's the other.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. I want to learn how to tap dance.
Dude, Sammy Davis, he rocked
Yeah.
it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
He was, and actually on the movie Back from Paris I was watching was Better Man, and it's about Robbie Williams, the English guy, and he was a huge Frank Sinatra fan. That's where a lot of his love came from.
So I don't even know if I know tap is a thing, but I think it needs to be pop again. I love Irish dance, Scott Porter, and the whole. His kids are just killing it in Irish dance, but I think it needs to be like, what do you call it? Mainstream. Like we need somebody to just come rock it out. I don't know how they would. They got to obviously put some modern spin on it.
Maybe Mo Youngest will do that. She does tap dancing. Maybe she might bring it back. Who knows?
Does anybody have a size 10.5 tap dancing shoe? Because I think I could learn it, and I don't care. It'd be like I'd have fun no matter what.
I'd
have fun doing it. It's like a drum set.
I would do it.
Beat the hell out.
I do. I've always, you know what I always want to do in a band is a cymbal guy. Like you get to travel and tour with the band.
Did you just do that?
I did the cymbal guy. I did. Like you go out there,
like the finger cymbals.
Yeah, exactly, man. You're just the cymbal guy in the band, and you get to do the parties with them. You have all the traveling with them and
more
entertainment.
Combo.
And you're up there, and you're just like, yeah, I'm part of the band. Ding, 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 ding. You know,
I bet that's a cousin or a brother.
Maybe even the triangle. Like every now and then, the triangle would be cool.
Yeah. All right, let's go to real estate.
All right.
So you're buying a house. You're in the market for buying a house.
I am, yes, sir.
So tell me, let's just start. What's it like now, or how's it different? Because you've owned homes before. So how is it different today? And we're not talking about the market. We know where interest rates are, but just the process of buying a house. How does that look different?
Well, obviously now, you know, there's a lot more. So I've owned, 3 houses now. I bought one down in South Florida. You know, at first it was just me and another person that bought the house. We got a great deal. The market went crazy. We sold at the top. The market went down, obviously. When I got hired on with the airline I'm at here, I bought a house in Virginia Highlands, townhome, which I still own and rent out. Loved the area, and you know, it was great. And then, you know, through this current situation, you know, moved in with a family. You know, now you're buying a house. Actually, 5 houses now. Thinking about built a house. Whew, that was stressful.
I've never done that.
But that was fun because you get to design it the way you want to, which is really, really cool. But the problem is location.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I find out for me personally in real estate is locations, everything.
So that was going to be a question. Like, what is your top priority as you're looking for a house? Like, what is the first thing like that I can't budge on?
Yeah, no, location. Like,
what is it location based off of? Is it based off of where you work, where the kids' school are, where the restaurants are? What makes it a great location in Fayette County?
So one of the things us as pilots we get to do is, you know how you drive to work, like you drive from home to your office. We have what's also is called commuting. Pilots commute, so you can live anywhere in the world. As long as you get back to the destination where you're going to take off your base out of and fly, you can live where in the world. I used to commute from Fort Lauderdale to Chicago. Hated it because you're fighting to get flights, snow, this, that, you know, all kinds of things. So you're traveling, sitting in a jump seat, tired, you know, 4 a.m, late at night after you've been flying all day. It's really, really tough on the body, and I just didn't want to commute. So I buy in the base that I live in the base that I work out of. So Atlanta is where I live, and I'm based out of Atlanta. So that's what I want to do, and especially on the south side and in the city we live in here in Peachtree City. It's amazing. It's you know, the golf cart lifestyle. The schools are really good. So my thing was location. And now, you know, from prior when it was just me by myself, I just wherever I wanted to live, and that was the area. Now I take my kids into the aspect of what I'm looking for. So it's a whole different realm. I can't look just for myself. I'm more or less, what do my kids need? What do they want? And where do I need to buy for them?
If you had found the house that checked every box, but your kids walked in and was like, nope, I don't like it because
that'd be tough.
I don't know.
Well, I'm running that issue right now, like looking for houses now. You know, I got one child's like, oh, I really like it. The other one's like, nah, you know, I don't want to live here. I don't want this. I want that. So you're conflict. Now you got 3 people you're trying to make happy is to find a
Yeah.
place that you want to live in.
That's tough.
So it is tough. It is, you're trying to make everybody happy and want them to feel, the main thing is I want them to feel home, but you provide that with the love and affection
Yeah.
that you give to your kids. That's what makes it home.
Yeah.
But the walls and the roof are pretty nice too,
Yeah.
which
I
is
mean, you
extra
want to be
added.
cool, and
Yeah.
you want your kids to be able to go outside,
Yes.
whether it's in your own yard or to play with somebody or have access to something. Otherwise, they're just going to sit inside.
Well, that's what you buy a house for, is a
Yeah.
yard to be able to play and to
Right.
bring their friends. And especially as a father with daughters, my
You want a
concept.
big fence.
Yeah. Tight fence,
A
keep them real
moat.
close. Yeah. Well, my thing is, and that's the thing, with the house I want to provide for them or give to them is, I know what goes on at my house. So I know my kids are safe at my house. So I want to have the entertainment house where they come and bring their friends there.
Yeah.
And they enjoy the entertainment and the love and the atmosphere at my house.
So do you tell the realtor I only want all the bedrooms have to be upstairs and they have to be really high off the ground?
That is one of the concepts that comes into play every now and then.
No access to the roof.
No sneaking out. None of the stuff that I used to do. Yeah.
Yes, no dropping.
Yeah. Master on main.
Master on main, right underneath their window, and make sure that they're at least 20 feet off the ground.
That is correct. Yes.
That's what I
yes.
as well.
And then where you can lock it up at night, where it's like.
Oh yeah, and the beeping windows.
Oh yeah.
And,
yeah.
We wonder why our kids are so soft, because we just control everything.
We do.
Real estate agent. Are you working with a real estate agent? Are you doing it by yourself?
Actually, I'm working with a real estate agent, a good friend of mine, Jenny Odom, or Jenny Capula now. Wortman. Actually, there's a few of them in there. She was.
She's Latin American. Love you, Jenny.
Jenny, we love you. Yeah. No, she's not.
Kaplan,
yeah. Well, I'm sorry. It's names that I knew, this and that.
Yes.
But yes, no, she's amazing. She's helping me out. And I feel so sorry for real estate agents too, because you go to look at so many houses and you're like, I like this or I like this, and there's a lot of time. And now you see why they should get paid what they do out of the aspect.
And for you, you're in a current rental lease, so you're
Correct.
not. It's not urgent. Like you're not. I got to have a house in 30 days, so you get to be a little bit more picky.
I do, yes, and that's one thing I'm at. That and looking in Peachtree City, like I'm looking at some of the houses, and the prices are like, they're. I think they're a little more than some houses can get. I think they're not. The thing with Peachtree City is it's an older town, so the house you buy, you got to fix up a little bit. And it's how much money you're going to involve into fixing that house to put it where you get it to where you want it. You've got time, but I want to get into a house where it's livable at the time and in the right location. And that's where I'm running into a lot right now is I'm not really rushing into anything. Yeah. I can be picky. I can be a little bit of this and that. At the same time, I want to look at it and getting it at a good price, and being able to fix it up the way I want to, and having that house look good and be presentable. And
what you need is a good lender that can do a renovation loan. So a renovation loan is not. We won't talk about that, but there are loans that allow you to renovate and do all that. So you went back to location before, and we have marketing materials to talk about that. It's like if you're struggling to find the perfect house, buy the house in the neighborhood, in the area that you want. Make that the number one priority.
Correct.
Because we have loan products that can help you totally redo a kitchen, finance, whatever, redo the deck, or there's even certain programs that allow you to roll a pool in and finance a pool. So there are loans that will help you do that.
I didn't know that. That's a good thing. I did not know some of that. I know there's like construction loans you can do, but I didn't know.
So when we call a construction loan, that's more for your building ground up, you're starting.
Okay.
Renovation, you're buying something that's already there and it needs fixing.
Now, do you have to do that? Do you have it appraised and then you can get a value above that? How does that work?
It's a subject to appraisal.
Okay.
So you would write a contract like normal, and then the subject to, you would tell us everything that you want to have done.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would have an appraisal based on all of those items.
Oh, okay. So like a future appraisal on this kind of thing.
Right.
Oh, okay,
so if it's just cosmetic, you're not going to see a huge difference.
Right.
But if you're changing the square footage or anything obviously that would change values, and I think we have other videos about that. So
I didn't know that.
it is possible. But
That's good to know.
we're not here to talk about my business.
Well, but that's something I know. I need to know, so I get to learn from your business.
Exactly.
At the same time we do this.
Yeah.
And
so how'd you find Jenny?
She was a neighbor of mine, 2 houses down. And then she's just been amazing. She's she's great, and she's been awesome helping me out with this.
So I'm setting this question up on purpose.
Yes.
I know Jenny very well. She's an outstanding real estate agent.
Correct.
We often tell people, hey, don't use your friend. Yeah. Don't use your cousin. So this is your chance to promote her. What makes her a good real estate? If she wasn't your friend, would you still use her?
I would. The thing is about her is she's very reliable. She understands my lifestyle. And the reason being is she's married to somebody that is in the aviation business also, Dave. Yeah. So she understands my lifestyle. She knows my kids from living close to each other. She knows my kids very well. So she knows what I'm about, what I'm looking for, what the kids need. And she has 2 daughters of her own. So she gets my whole concept of what I want. Yeah. So she's just amazing. She's just been reliable. One of the things we've learned to this process right now, like the other day I was in Japan and 2 houses came on the market, and fortunately I didn't get to see them because I was in Japan. Right. But we started to change our concept of like, all right, something comes open, let's trust, I can trust her to go walk through the house and be like, I think this is something you want. I think you would want to put it down. And she would put the offer down. Like, that's who I want. That's what I.
So a lot of agents, people that I've had on here, we've talked about like the desirability of that and separating a real estate agent. Like, what are the skills of a good agent? And likable and getting along is huge. It's important. You want to get along because then you can be open, honest, comfortable, answer those questions. But you also want somebody that asks those questions. They ask you a lot of questions, and they know your needs, and they're not just trying to sell a house. And that they are comfortable doing something like that. The fact that you would trust someone to potentially make an offer on a house without you even see it, I think that's a huge compliment to the buyer-agent relationship. So
she would, and that's the thing. We haven't done it yet. We haven't had that happen on a trip. But I'm willing to do that. Like, that's who... I trust her in what she does and what she's seeing.
And there are protections. So if anybody's ever wondering anything that's crazy, he's not actually going to fully buy the house.
Correct.
He would just make an offer, and she would help him negotiate a contract. And once you're under contract, you typically have, it's called due diligence. You have 7 days. You could ask for 14 days due diligence, which then gives you time to order inspections and truly do more and go through it.
Right.
So if you're not in town right away, and this is actually kind of common for people that are travel a lot, or they live in California and they're moving to Georgia for a job. So
which is good. We have a lot of that, with the movie industry that moved in. Yeah. And I think that kind of drove the house prices up faster than it was. Because the houses are so much cheaper than what they are in California. But I think we're hitting a different realm right now. There's some of the movie industry has moved out, but the houses that are really good are man, they're gone. Like in
still
days.
In this market, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and but then some of the houses that need work and need stuff done are sitting forever. Right. So it's it's a testament to the house and to the people that do it. You know,
and there are, sorry to plug again, but there are renovation products to get your house ready to put on the market. You can actually do that loan, knowing that nobody's buying this house with this carpet and with that bubble roof or whatever that stuff's called.
Oh, popcorn ceiling.
Whatever it is, if you know that you're going to lose, $25,000 when you try to sell it because you need repairs, but you only got to spend $10,000, there are loan products for that. So, all right. So let me, as far as real estate, when you walked in, and I've not thought about this, but as a pilot, you said something about buying real estate out of the country.
Yeah. No,
what does that look like?
I don't know. I'm just starting to look at it. I've asked some friends that talked about maybe like creating an LLC together. Of course, they laughed at me because I went down to Santiago, Chile, and just loved the city. It's just a great weather. The atmosphere, and it was just one of those things. Like, I like real estate. I love real estate. I love traveling. I love being able to see places. Especially in my business, I'm traveling all around the world, and it'd be great to have, places that you can go and stay when you want to at any time. At the same time, you can invest it and do Airbnbs
Right.
and rent it out. But at the same time, especially if you have friends that are in the airline business, we get to travel for a very, very, very good discount,
Yeah.
and to be able to do that and go some places when you want to, especially when you retire,
Yeah.
and live there for a while, even in
Right.
how long you live.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be amazing. I just think
Yeah.
it'd be so much fun. And I love real estate. And I love investing in real estate. Luckily, knock on wood,
I
I
think
didn't
it's
want to
real
destroy your hat there, but knock on wood,
No.
I've had luck
Love you,
with real
Scott.
estate. I've had luck with the real estate industry, and
Yeah.
again, it comes down to location.
Well, and I'll address that from a lending side because I don't just reciprocally. I don't know what the right word is, but so if you're a pilot in Europe
Mm-hmm.
and you lived, and you were a European citizen and wanted to buy real estate here, it would be difficult to get a mortgage. That is, you can
Right.
own real estate anywhere you want, no
Mhm.
restrictions to that. But typically, you have to have you have to have credit established. We have to verify credit history. So the LLC, you'd probably have to borrow in the name of the LLC. There's probably some unique products that would just require some large down payments. Private investors, I don't know what it would look like, but I'd make sure on the mortgage side, if you needed to borrow any of it, that'd be something you'd really want to look at up front, because I don't know what their lending requirements are.
Mhm.
So maybe you go to a European bank and they might have the same rules where they're not going to lend you because you don't work there.
Yeah.
But
That makes sense. I don't know either. I mean, I'd like to create my own little, if I can say that on this podcast, Trump, enterprise where
Yeah.
it's like, you have real estate all around the world, and you have these places you're able to go to. I think it'd just be amazing. It doesn't have to be.
Well, we know each other, so to address that, we hate everybody in politics. So
That's very true.
you can talk about anybody you want. I hate them all.
Well, I mean, he's just been successful in real estate,
Yes.
and maybe some of it's controversial and that, but
Debatable.
yeah.
Well, clearly he has. He's,
yeah. I just think it'd be great to have your own little enterprise and be able to travel around the world and have your places to stay.
And it's
Where do
running.
you
I
wanna
mean,
stay?
obviously we're running out of land. It's going to go away
Yeah.
at some point. And so then once there's no more places to build, obviously the prices just continue to go up.
No, I agree. And
It's-
my thing is too, it's not just for me now, it's for my kids when they get
Yeah.
older, to have that investment for them, to be able to invest for your children, because that's all we do.
Yeah.
When we die off and go away and turn
It's
it,
never going to happen.
I know.
They got AI bots that are going to shoot in our veins, and they'll just fix us all the time.
I'm totally game for it if I can, look this pretty for the rest of my life. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. It's hard,
You are a
especially
pretty
this
man.
hair. The hair is amazing.
I know.
It's on
The
point
eyes, you're
today.
just a beautiful man.
Well, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
The shirt helps too. It brings out the light, the disco light in your eyes.
There is a party in this shirt. We are invited. We'll have margaritas afterwards. Or Coronas.
All right. Anything else you want to add? I got a quick game that we're going to go out on.
No, I mean, my thing is, real estate is a great investment tool. I think it's just getting into the right locations that you want. I'd love to do it, and it's tough right now looking for a place. But like I said, like you said, it's renting makes it easier to deal with that as you're going. It's not that I'm being pushed out of the house or anything like that. I got a great tenant, John. Man, you the best. He does a great job. He's a hard worker.
John Madden rents from you?
It's actually funny today. So, I had the Jeep, right? And I got all my ducks in the Jeep. I can't get away with anything, speeding, murder, anything. That Jeep tells everything about me. So my neighbor's beside me, Linda, he's been working hard in the front yard, and it's a little pond because it rained so much past today. She put little rubber duckies out there. And that's really cool.
Awesome.
It is. That's awesome. I got great neighbors. Anyway, sorry,
I'm going to get my phone out for this game. So,
right.
If anybody, I think it was from 96 Rock. It could have been an old AM radio station, but I just love the idea of trying to do this. So,
all right.
You got 10 seconds.
That's pressure.
Now, there's a lot of pressure. There's not a lot of time. 10 seconds to name as many fish as you can think of. When we say fish, we're talking about anything underwater. Real, fake, it doesn't matter. Anything underwater. 10 seconds to name as many. And we're going to keep a tally and see who can hold the record for the most.
Oh, wait, we're having I'm going to do it and then you do it? Or we're going to do it at the same time?
No, you're going to do it by yourself.
Oh, okay.
Then I'm going to start closing every podcast out with this. So when the 10 seconds are up.
All right.
will
Wow,
know.
10 seconds. Wow.
I know, not a lot of time.
Can I
You gotta
include
roll
mammals
on.
too? Does mammals include in that?
There's no, if it swims in the water, there's no restrictions to answers to this question.
Oh, wow, man.
So on your mark, get set, go.
You got like a blue whale, you got dolphins, you got sharks, great white sharks, mako sharks, swordfish, tuna. Tuna's right good to eat. The
Stop.
salmon. Oh, dude, that was 10 seconds?
Yeah, wow.
That was, I shouldn't have said anything about that.
Yeah,
Tuna being
you
good to eat. I wasted.
But the thing is, if I remember, if anybody else remembers when they used to do this, you got 8. And a lot of people just, like, and they'll like be on 3.
Oh, really?
I feel like it must have been sports talk because I feel like Chipper Jones did good. I don't know. A lot of people, and they just, I think it's hilarious because you're going, there's so, like now I'm sure all day you'll be thinking of the many things like Ariel, Pelican,
Ariel?
Anything.
Are you talking about the Ariel the
fish in
mermaid?
the water.
What is an Ariel?
Ariel, isn't she a fish?
She was a mermaid.
Yeah.
But she's not real.
I didn't say it to be real. I specifically said.
Man. All right.
All right.
That's
We're
good
out
enough.
of here. Thank y'all very much. Thank you, Shawn.
Hey, thank you, sir.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank
y'all
you.
have a great day. Like and follow and let us know if you have any kids that are like each other. And if you have any experience investing in international real estate, please let us know.
I'm game.